Good evening and welcome back to CNN Money Switzerland and our ongoing coverage of coronavirus. I'm Olivia Chang. Let's start by taking a look at the latest situation here in Switzerland. These are the numbers that you need to know. More than 22,000 people across the country have now tested positive to coronavirus. 641 deaths have been reported and 412 people remain in intensive care. Health officials said that the situation appeared to be stabilizing, but stressed that the crisis was not near a solution and still urged people to remain indoors. Meanwhile, the KOF Swiss Economic Institute has put a number to the potential fallout of coronavirus in Switzerland: 35 billion Swiss francs. Bear in mind, this is their worst case scenario, but on the other side of the spectrum, they're still saying that it could be a loss of 22 billion Swiss francs. The sectors feeling the most pain are expected to be hospitality, transport, as well as retail. Now, Swiss eye care company Alcon joins the list of firms that are issuing a profit warning in the midst of coronavirus. It's suspending its 2020 guidance, saying today that eye care procedures and exams have been put on hold across many markets. Its dividend has also been cancelled until 2021. The company spun off from pharma giant Novartis earlier last year. Finishing up, joblessness in Switzerland has jumped by more than 20% in March compared to the same time just last year. To put that into perspective, around 135,000 people across the country are now registered as unemployed. It comes at a time when job postings are also slumping, roughly by about a quarter, and that was since Switzerland rolled out nationwide measures to try and contain the virus in middle of March. Now, Google has selected 6 European companies to take part in its new accelerator for startups that are trying to work towards the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. My colleague Casimira Jeffert caught up with the director to get the latest on their roundup.
So we've selected the startups that we have selected solve, for example, for the climate change. So like Ever Impact is a startup that is trying to monitor the air pollution and the carbon emissions in cities. We also have a startup that is trying to solve for the loss of biodiversity. So they are using honeybees and monitor their behavior in order to detect what is the problem that the number of insects is dramatically decreasing every year. So all these startups are using really advanced technology. So some of them use AI ML, some of them use satellite, the geographic information systems. Some of them use augmented reality, like a startup that we have from Pakistan, Wonder Tree. So a variety of technologies to solve for those problems which are either connected with environment or food, or any topic set by the United Nations.
Meanwhile, Google for Startups maintains that right now, during the crisis, it's still a good time for the industry.
It's a huge opportunity for startups because startups are digital companies. They use technology. Their consumers use technology. So since more people will feel comfortable with digital, they can have more consumers and also they can innovate faster. So while now we focus, of course, very much on the crisis itself, but I think the future can actually bring a lot of innovations, mostly coming from those agile companies because they are like used to change. They have, let's be honest, less to lose, but they have a lot to win if they really understand the new consumer trends well, and if they are passionate about solving the new challenges and problems that occur, but also the new opportunities. So I'm personally quite optimistic for the startups. I think some of them has really a chance to accelerate right now.
And there's a new coughing test for COVID-19 that has been developed here in Switzerland. My colleague Anna Maria Montero walks us through how it really works.
Okay, it's all good. I'm all good here, except I have a little dry throat. I'm actually just testing out a new application whose goal it is to be able to tell people whether or not they are COVID-19 positive from the sound of their cough. It goes right here on your phone. Simon Hoffmar, one of the co-founders of Detect Now, joins me. Okay, Simon, I've coughed into the application. Now where does this go? What's the next step?
Exactly, Anna-Maria. So while you were coughing, we recorded it on the application, and we can quickly replay that. So that sounds like your cough. And then we can just upload it to our database, our tool. We submit it, it will load for a few seconds, and then it will be able in the future to give you a prediction how likely you are to have COVID-19 simply from your voice recording. So the vision is really that everybody can get tested at any time and at zero costs by coughing into their phones.
So instead then of going to a lab to get your results, this goes to a server.
Yes, and it goes directly to our server for the machine learning algorithm to run for your cough sound sample and to see whether you're likely to have COVID-19 or not. And then it will send the results right back to your device on your smartphone or on your web application. And for doctors, they're able to classify certain types of coughs by hearing, but on a viral level, humans are not able to do that. But what we believe in is that we can now detect through machine learning actually patterns in the cough sounds that humans cannot detect by hearing.
Now, if I understand it, you're still in the collection phase of the data, which means that even if you cough in there, you're not going to be able to send immediate results. Is this correct?
This is correct. Yeah, this has a lot to do with actually the approval process. So before we can do diagnostics, we need to go through clinical trial, make sure that the process and data collection is very fulfills high standard, because obviously this is very important in the application in medical devices that the predictions are accurate. So we're currently collecting data to train the algorithm and to prepare now for the clinical trial. And only once we've passed this stage, we will be able to actually give diagnostics to the people.
Now I have to ask you, especially now in times of this outbreak, time is of essence. I mean, how long is this going to take to resolve itself so that you can, in fact, have people use this and get the results of the testing?
Absolutely. So time is of essence, and that's why also we are working almost around the clock on this to move it forward. We're happy to really have support from a broad community of doctors, machine learning engineers that reached out to support this project. And usually this process of medical trials would be a process of months. Given the current urgency around COVID-19, we hope that we really can reduce that process and have it within weeks. But this is currently still pending the process that is a bit out of our control, but depends on the ethics committee to which we also submit our proposal.
Mm-hmm. So are we talking a matter of weeks, a matter